Hey man, it's Jobby and we're looking at the Master Grade 3.0 RX-78-2 Gundam. But before that, I need your money! I need to tell you about Surfshark VPN, the sponsor of this video. I can't afford to pay. Browsing the web with a virtual private network allows you to browse while knowing all your important stuff is private, secure, and protected. Like your emails, your passwords, your secret obsession with the new Gundam girl. Not that one, too pure. All she's done is sit on that couch, but God damn! And browsing without a VPN will let everyone know how much of a virgin you are. But Surfshark does way more than protect your privacy. You can virtually travel the world by changing your IP address. You have a choice of over 3,200 servers in over 100 countries. Use that to get better deals online. Some stores change their prices depending on where you're shopping from. There's an article in the description about price discrimination that you should read. Or you could use Surfshark to watch region-locked content on HBO Max. If you're in one of the many countries that don't have it yet, just switch to a country like, say, Rifleland, and you're good to go. Surfshark VPN also includes Surfshark Alert, letting you know when your sensitive information's been compromised in any way. It's available to download on iOS, Android, Mac, Windows, Linux, just about everything. So check the link in the description and use my code JOBBY to get 85% off and 3 extra months free. But if you want to let everyone know you pilot your mobile suit too much, there's a 30-day money-back guarantee. This is a Gundam plastic model kit, also known as Gunpla, which means I had to build it. You can see some of that process on my Build and Chill streams, which I do on Jobby too. Subscribe. Damn, I really need a bigger cutting mat. This was a complex build with a ridiculous part count. Was all that effort worth it? Well, the eyes look kind of dead. You could always paint the eyes yourself using my Blitz Gundam technique that I never did a tutorial on. Might as well get that started. So what you want to do first is buy an official Bandai LED kit sold separately. Some assembly required and batteries not included. Wow. Cost about 10 bucks on Amazon, which might be too expensive because quite honestly, the LED kind of sucks. It tends to flicker like a dying candle, but on the off chance that the light stays solid, it looks really good. You could even say that the sculpting is amazing. This kit is a faithful recreation of the 1-to-1 scale Gundam statue that used to be in Odaiba, Japan. So I'm not talking about the one that can move. That one's pretty recent. Which reminds me, this kit is pretty old. I bought it when it came out and it's been collecting dust in my storage for all this time. I don't know, I suddenly had an itch to review a Gundam. Surprisingly, this thing is still on sale at retail price. And you should consider getting one because he does look dang good from all angles. Although I don't have to criticize the backpack anymore, seeing as this thing doesn't transform, right? And a note about the rest of the Randoseru. These little handles are way too thin and flimsy.
It will snap off.
As good as the kit looks straight out of the box, it will look even better with some panel lining. For example, its bulbous calves have a lot of etched in line detail that will look great if you filled in those lines with a panel line marker. I don't have time anymore. And the highly detailed inner frame could use a nice coat of metallic gunmetal gray paint with the light silver dry brushing to highlight the raised edges, like I did back then. I don't have time anymore. But I think there's enough natural paneling throughout the kit, thanks to a lot of these seams between the armor parts. You don't really need to panel line or paint this guy. It really does look great right out of the box. It was either paint it or review it. I couldn't do both. And I can't say the build was fun either. The elbows in particular were a bastard to build, but there's a reason for the madness. You'll see it has this shifting armor gimmick as you bend certain parts. Did you miss it? Pay attention to this part. As you bend the elbow, it slightly moves. That was totally worth an hour per arm. Fun! I'm not the fastest builder. If the panel movement was a lot more pronounced, I would have been more satisfied. But as it is, the arms don't justify their complicated build. And while we're at the arms, you'll notice that I use some gold sticker. But I didn't use all of them. Most of these stickers are miscellaneous decals, ranging from operation markings to gang signs. I'm not about to do all that. But I did use pretty much all of the gold foil stickers, except for this one extra dot, which I have no idea where to put.
I love Gandhi.
racist. The bits of gold at the elbows and the knee joints make the Gundam look more like a realistic space machine. It's a great idea. In theory, the gold is fading away, which could not be helped. Bending the elbows normally rubs against the gold. Hell, even rubbing the sticker to get it to stick naturally chips off the gold. But even worse than that, the sticker's peeling off. You could always paint them! Paint it or review it, one or the other. Not like it needs a huge amount of paint, because the color separation on the kit is excellent. Get your Jobby Supports color separation jokes out now. Every color you see here is a separate piece. From the various shades of red, white, and blue, to the yellow Vulcan guns on the head, and the yellow crotch V, also known as a pussy. And while we're here, this is supposed to be a cooling vent, but it just comes off as mildly annoying. Like me. Doesn't want to stay closed. On the plus side, you could put your weed in there. Even the chest vents are individual blades, and they're ever so slightly articulated. This could have just been one piece with molded detail. While the high parts count and color separation results in visual variety, it also results in loose armor bits. Instead of being one flat but stable surface, the skirts just had to be composed of multiple thin pieces. Might as well glue this on at some point.
No! That's against my religion!
The cross on the shield is a separate part too, really cool. The skirt armor isn't the only thing uncomfortably loose, but the waist is wobbly for a reason. Bisecting the kit reveals the core block, where a teeny tiny Amuro Ray is seated. Of course, you can paint it if you're psychotic. Or Jobby from 2016. The core block isn't the only thing that can fit in his belly. The core fighter has the ability to convert transform into the Gundam's guts. Also includes a tiny Amuro Ray, which again, you can paint. I want to paint. Fuck. The cockpit isn't the only thing that can flip up. All these little details are just screaming to be painted. But I'm sorry, I just don't have time.
I swear to God, I will cook you!
And before we convert this thing, here's a standing Amuro Ray. Very detailed, very paintable, very breathable. First, remove the landing gear, which is just parts forming, doesn't go anywhere. Fun. Fold up both wings, like so. And there's a panel here that when you push it, flips the pilot seat. Push the nose in, and you get this auto transformation gimmick, which works perfectly despite me fucking up the build. I don't want to talk about it. Plug the core fighter into the waist and reattach the top half of the Gundam. It doesn't fit in all the way because the LED unit is there. Lame. But even after getting rid of that and plugging it all the way in, the waist is even floppier than before. Also, the core fighter kills the waist pivot. Wow, the core fighter kind of sucks. So fuck it. I prefer the core block. Yeah. Let's take a look at some more accessories. First of all, the beam sabers, since they're already plugged in. Lot of detail on them too, ripe for panel lining. You could flip out this tab and flip out this tab on the fully articulated hands. Both of these tabs are gonna guarantee that the beam saber stays put. And you wrap the fingers around that, and the actual beam of the beam saber is very long, which is fine by me. This looks great, but the look doesn't feel complete without the Gundam's iconic shield. Again, lot of panel lining here that's just begging to be filled. Even more so on the back of the shield. Jesus, that would take forever. There's this tab at the back that if you get a good grip on it, you can pull down, all the way down, and that opens up a little peephole. Fantastic feature. Slide the fingers into the handle, wrap them around, and this part barely snaps into the arm. This microscopic tab plugs into this microscopic hole. Sounds like your conception. But for some reason, it works. You can slide the shield if you so choose. And you could even store the shield on the back. This little part rotates to reveal a hole. It can be a bit tricky to reveal. Jesus, that's way too tight. And the shield does a pretty good job at staying put. And that's not all for weapon storage. Let's bring in the beam rifle. Once again, so much potential for painted detail. Flip out this peg, which plugs into any of these gray parts, like so. But what's the point of a rifle if you can't shoot it? God bless America. You could fold out this tab in either direction, so the Gundam could hold it in any of its hands. And I just love how solid the grip is. Is it a surprise that the Gundam got that gorilla grip? Rotating scope as well. And for the final weapon, you get a bazooka. Very impressive weapon, and you equip it the same way. Boom! Holds the bazooka like no problem. That's a good Gundam right there. Transform. Alternatively, you can store the bazooka in his ass. But we gotta open it up first. flip out this tab, and that's not the most solid connection, but it works. You can also put the rifle in his ass. God bless America! And for the final set of accessories, have you noticed these little no smoking signs at the elbows, the knees, and the ankles? Well, you do have the option of replacing them with these alternate joint caps, which is supposed to replicate the magnet coating from the original anime. The G3 Gundam, which is the RX-78-3, is just the granddad with the magnetic coating. Thanks, Chad. I wouldn't have remembered.
Fake fan!
Well, it's possible to mount the RX-78-3 on a stand with this included stand adapter. That plugs right into the Gundam grundle, and that plugs into a standard 1/100 Master Grade base. Haven't brought this thing out in a while. I could just smell the depression. A great variety of accessories and so many options of display. But is it any fun to handle? I've already mentioned the wobbly waist, but beside that, most of the kit is super solid. For a model kit, I had a surprisingly comfortable time getting it into a variety of poses. Ball joint at the head and the base of the neck, which allows it to look up that far and look down that far. Every ball joint can be a swivel. This shoulder assembly is on a ball joint, which pretty much acts as a butterfly joint and allows the shoulder to move up. It also tends to pop off, kind of annoying. Rotation at the shoulder, and if you're unlucky, individual rotation at the shoulder pad. It absolutely eats my ass how floppy the shoulder pad armor could be. It plugs into this poly cap at the shoulder, but not for long. Might as well glue it on there. Slight hinge joint at the shoulder armor, which just serves to annoy me. Shoulder pad can move up, and the shoulder proper can move out. Bicep swivel, bend at the elbow, yippee. Hinge joint here, ball joint at the wrist, every ball joint at the base of the palm, which allows the hand to move all the way out, and it tends to pop off, so be careful. Hinge joint, ball joint at the thumb, every ball joint, another ball joint at the thumb, and a hinge joint. Ball joint at the base of every finger, and a hinge joint at all of the fingers. These hands are fantastic, and thank God they were mostly pre-assembled. You can flip up half of the backpack, which allows for some thruster articulation, waist swivel, waist pivot, a slightly arcing back, and an ab crunch that's not as deep as I'd like it to be, and it's pointless because of how loose it is. The front skirts, side skirts, and butt skirts are also a little too loose for comfort. All these things are on ball joints. Every ball joint can be. The front skirts can shift and move out, same as the butt skirts. Rotation at the leg, can move back that far. A beautiful spread, thigh swivel, double bend at the knee, and this is how the arm should have handled the shifting armor gimmick. This is a kind of feature that's definitely worth an hour per leg. Ball joint at the ankle, which tends to detach, fuck off. Every ball joint up and down. The back of the leg splits apart, but I don't know if that's intentional. Hinge joint here. Ankle guard can rotate. The back of the foot is on a ball joint, which allows it to get out of the way of some foot poses. And this part of the foot is on a ball joint. Every ball joint. A toe bend and a heel bend, I guess. And a pretty good pivot. The kit's got an incredible amount of articulation, but as fun as it was to pose, it still doesn't feel as good as a pre-built figure. Probably because I haven't handled a model kit in a while, and I've been spoiled by beefy ratchets and hefty diecast. But admittedly, the more I handle this thing, the better it gets. Kinda makes me want to build more Gundam, never mind. Size comparison time. Here's Figma Madoka Kaname, Haya Toys Godzilla, Magic Square Light of Peace, which was my previous review, the Real Grade RX-78-2, which is pretty much an even smaller version of this guy. Short review for the Real Grade, it sucks, don't even bother. The High Grade Revive RX-78-2, I don't have it. Wasn't even my model kit, you remember? Miss you, Miguel. The Master Grade Zaku 2.0, and the Robot Damashi RX-78-2. The review where I kill the Gundam Ghost.
That's it! Time to spit some fire!
Shut up. This guy is pretty damn good. The completed model was great, but the build, the main thing about a model kit, I did not enjoy it as much as I wanted to. Coming back to the hobby after so long, it ultimately made me realize why I stopped. So after this guy, I guess that's it then. No more Gundam. Ah, shit, not again. Not another banger.
When you hear that super hot fire, it means I'm coming. Little gunner coming at you with some real great rhymes while I make that bank and some high grade ties. Motherfucker, I'm then you just wanna sit like you didn't do nothing, like you want the bomb.
But this ain't a dick sucking song.
Motherfucker, you ugly, you fat, and your dick is as small as your tiny cutting mat. Showing no mercy, better call me white devil. You can't get rid of me like you can't get rid of swivel. G-U-N to the D-A-M. Ghost, the co-host that you love the most. Here to serve a roast from coast to coast. The sidekick you need, but I ain't got a boast. I'm a menace, I'm a pimp, and you ain't nothing but a motherfucking little simp. Playing with your dolls, think you got a lot of money. I hate to tell you, Jobby, but you just ain't funny. Raining on destruction like we out of our coup. Cause I ain't no Zaku, boy, no Zaku. Gotta reload, take my piece and I cock it. Buckle up, I'm waging war in the pocket. You keep saying you wanna upload consistently, but the best you got is intermittently. Time to check your brain, accept reality, and lay back while I do a fatality. Wait, I'm referencing the wrong thing, but I got more rhymes than your mama can sing. You work really hard, but you don't get far. Well, I'm the red comet zipping around like Shaw. G-U-N to the D-A-M. Ghost, the co-host that you love the most. Here to serve a roast from coast to coast. The sidekick you need, but I ain't got a boast. You keep trying to send down your past like the months that don't seem to last. But no, I'm not going away. Persistent like Amber Away. I'm a new type of foe, I'm a space toy. Don't give a fuck about your issues in that little boy. Can't even break away up from a principality. Cause you're a bitch and I'm a beast of possibility. I don't give a fuck about you, I don't give a fuck what you do. What? All I want's a little tiny speckle of the past. And for you to get your shit together, build one last Gundam. Review more Gundam. Review more Gundam.
Okay.
Really?
No. I hope you have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Look forward to a bunch of new reviews in 2023. But for now, I'm gonna go die for a few weeks. I got roasted heavy, bruh.